All right, let's dive into Bollywood. The land of epic music, vibrant colors, and family ties that could give a soap opera a run for its money.
Definitely.
But lately, there's a buzzkill hanging over the industry, and it's stirring up a debate spicier than a Vindaloo curry. Nepotism.
Yeah, it's been simmering for a while, but things really got heated after Nadanyan came out.
Oh yeah, with Ibrahim Ali Khan and Kushi Kapoor. Didn't exactly set the box office on fire.
Not even close. The critics went in hard, especially on the lead actors. They were saying their performances were, well, let's just say the title of the film was pretty fitting.
Ouch. Not holding back, huh? But it's not just about one film. There's a feeling that Nadanyan is just the tip of the iceberg.
Right. It's like a whole string of films featuring these Nepo babies that have just flopped. Azad, Lavia Pa, the list goes on.
So are we saying that these star kids are basically getting a free pass just because of their last names?
Well, even Shah Rukh Khan, who built his career from scratch, admitted his kids, Aryan and Suhana, have a head start because they grew up around films.
Makes sense. They've practically been on movie sets since they were toddlers.
Right, so they know the business side, but that doesn't automatically make them great actors.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge difference between knowing your way around a film set and actually captivating an audience with your performance.
It's like inheriting a restaurant. Knowing where the dishes go doesn't mean you can cook. And then
Exactly.
you throw social media into the mix. That's like a whole new layer on this nepotism cake.
Right.
Are we casting movies based on Instagram followers now instead of, actual acting skills?
It's a factor, for sure.
Mm.
Some producers seem to think a huge online following equals instant box office success.
But those same films, with their millions of followers, still tanked.
You can't buy talent. You can try to create this perfect online persona, but the audience can see right through it.
It's almost like some producers are more concerned with chasing trends than nurturing real artistry. They're looking for the next viral sensation, not the next legendary actor.
And it's creating this vicious cycle. The more we prioritize online hype over talent, the fewer opportunities there are for newcomers without those built-in advantages.
So you've got all these incredibly talented, hungry actors out there who are basically stuck in a system that's rigged against them.
It's tough. Which is why it's so inspiring to see directors like Kiran Rao who are willing to take a chance on fresh faces.
Absolutely. But even with those talented directors championing new talent, they're still facing an uphill battle, right? I mean, getting a film funded, distributed, marketed, it's no walk in the park, especially with unknown actors.
Definitely a challenge. The industry is often risk-averse. They'd rather bet on a familiar name even if the script is weaker because they believe it guarantees a certain level of return.
And that's where these Nepo babies have a huge advantage, right? Even with a mediocre script, their films are almost guaranteed a wide release and a ton of marketing.
It's true. They have a network and resources that most newcomers could only dream of.
It's like starting a race 10 steps ahead of everyone else.
Pretty much.
And speaking of navigating this system, what about those new age talent agents? They're young, they're trendy, they probably know every hot new restaurant in Mumbai. But do they actually know how to spot and nurture real acting talent?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It makes you wonder. And it's not just about the agents. The whole culture around Bollywood has shifted. Remember when stars were these enigmatic figures shrouded in mystery?
Totally. There was this aura around them, this magic. And now it feels like we know everything about them. Their breakfasts, their vacations, their workout routines. It's all over social media and gossip sites.
We traded mystery for overexposure.
And that has kind of backfired, you know? This
Right.
constant exposure has taken away the mystique of stardom.
It's funny, I was talking to a social media strategist the other day, and they said Bollywood has a problem when you see actors more in ads than films. I was like, whoa, you're so right.
Right. Have we turned them into walking billboards instead of artists?
And it all goes back to this whole nepotism thing. Are we so bombarded with these star kids and their perfect online lives that we've forgotten what real talent even looks like?
That's the risk. We get so used to these manufactured personas that we lose sight of the actual artistry, the raw talent that used to define Bollywood.
Think about those legendary actors. Dilip Kumar, Amitabh Bachchan, Sridevi. They commanded your attention with their performances, not their follower count.
Their legacy was built on storytelling, on captivating the audience with their craft.
And that's what feels missing now. We're so distracted by the noise, the hype, the endless parade of Nepo babies that we're losing the magic of cinema.
Exactly. Bollywood is more than just star power and Instagram posts. It's writers pouring their hearts into scripts, directors crafting scenes, composers creating melodies that stay with you. It's a passion for storytelling.
And actors who can transport you to another world with a single look, a tear, A perfectly delivered line. That's the heart of Bollywood.
You said it. And we need to remember that.
So to save the soul of Bollywood, where do we even start?
It starts with all of us. Filmmakers, actors, the audience. We all have a role to play.
What do you mean?
Filmmakers need to be brave enough to take risks on fresh faces and new stories. Actors need to focus on honing their craft, their talent, not just their online presence.
And us. What can the audience do?
Be more discerning. Demand better from the industry. Support films that showcase real talent, that tell compelling stories. Don't just buy into the hype.
Be more aware of what we're consuming, what we're celebrating.
Exactly. Vote with your rupees. Show the industry that you want substance, originality, performances that move you, not just marketing campaigns.
It's about getting back to that feeling of wonder, being transported by a good story.
Couldn't agree more. That's something worth fighting for.
Okay, so we've talked about the problem, but are there any signs of hope? Is Bollywood starting to course correct?
Absolutely. We're seeing more independent cinema, smaller films that focus on the story instead of big names. There are directors out there who are willing to gamble on new talent.
Like who? Give us some names.
Well, you have people like Neeraj Gawan, who directed Masan, and Chaitanya Tamfine, the director of Court. These filmmakers are pushing boundaries, exploring new stories, and giving new perspectives a platform.
That's great to hear. What about actors? Any rising stars breaking through the nepotism barrier?
For sure. Look at Vicky Kaushal. He went from being pretty much unknown to a huge star with films like Uri and Razi. And then there's Tripti Dimri, who was phenomenal in Bulbul. That film blew people away.
Sounds like the audience is craving something different, something real.
Definitely. And that's a good sign because in the end, the power is with the audience. The more we support films that value talent over connections, the more the industry will get the message.
So what can we do as individuals to make a difference? Besides supporting those amazing directors and actors, of course.
I think it starts with talking about it, discussing nepotism, highlighting the talented people who are overlooked, and demanding more from the industry. Speak up, share your opinion, support the films and actors you believe in.
You know, we started with Nidanyan, but this goes way beyond one film. It's about the soul of Bollywood.
You got it.
Yeah.
It's not about blaming people or putting anyone down. It's about having an honest conversation about the challenges and working together to make Bollywood more inclusive, more fair, and more creative.
It really feels like Bollywood is at a turning point. Like, on one side, you have this system that favors those with famous last names and a gazillion followers.
Right.
And then on the other side, you've got all these talented artists and passionate filmmakers who are like, no, we need to change things up.
It's a real tug of war. And it all boils down to one question. What kind of Bollywood does the audience actually want?
Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Are we okay with the same old formulas, the same old faces, or are we ready for something more, something that, like, shakes things up a bit?
I think we all crave that sense of awe, that feeling of being swept away by a story that really gets to you.
We want characters we can connect with, stories that feel real, actors who can make us believe in the magic of movies again.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to support those filmmakers and actors who are trying new things, taking risks, reminding us what good storytelling is all about.
We need to be loud and clear about the kind of Bollywood we want. Support the films that inspire us, the ones that stick with us long after the credits roll.
Celebrate the artists who are dedicated to their craft, who are bringing something genuine to the screen.
It's almost like we need a Bollywood rebirth, a return to its roots where talent and passion were everything.
I love that. A Bollywood that honors its history but also carves a new path forward. A Bollywood that embraces its diverse stories and voices.
A Bollywood that can win over the whole world while staying true to itself.
Exactly. And that's a Bollywood I think everyone can get excited about.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one last thought. What kind of Bollywood future will you help create? Are you just going to watch from the sidelines, or are you going to be part of the change? Will you settle for the ordinary or demand something extraordinary? The choice